What's up, everybody, and welcome to my AEW review. A lot of things going on in the show tonight, live from Jacksonville, Florida. Of course, you got commentary as usual, JR, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone on commentary. But there was something different this week. We got Chris Jericho on commentary with his baseball bat for some reason, who was there for the entire first hour of the show. I feel like I heard more of Jericho than anybody else throughout commentary in the first hour, which Jericho's always a treat to hear on commentary in general. But it was kind of odd that he was just on commentary. It's like, you got all the commentaries this week. Why do we need Chris Jericho for? I don't know, but you know, Jericho said the world's been waiting for his commentary for this show ever since, you know, he did it with Tony Schiavone from almost a month ago. I guess they wanted him back. But we do kick it off though with FTR. I'm really trying to call them by their new names nowadays. Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood versus the Butcher and the Baker, or the Butcher, the Blade. Well, they don't have the Candlestick Maker with them, but listen, this was a good tag match, I will say. I think a lot of it is mostly put on FTR to what I've heard tonight, but this was good. It was actually FTR's debut match. Actually good to see them wrestling again on this show. One thing that people kind of point out tonight is when they, they went to the crowd, and I know they had, Arn and Tully and, Jake Roberts, other legends watching. It's kind of funny with FTR being here and whatnot. I'm sure everybody has compared FTR to, the new Arn and Tully, which is, it's kind of funny now because they're all in the same company together now, okay? So I kind of find that funny in a way, because for years now they've compared, I don't want to say the revival, but, FTR to, well, this is the new Arn and Tully. This is the new Arn and Tully. So it's kind of funny that they're all in the same company right now that I think about it. But this was not a bad tag match, though. I think, I don't remember what it was called tonight, but it's not called the Shatter Machine anymore, which I swear they could barely pick up. The Butcher right there was kind of heavy, I guess. I thought it was a botch. But I think it was the... I'm going to have to look back up their finisher. I don't want to call it the Shatter Machine because it's actually a new name now, so we can't really call it that anymore. And they went with a spike pile driver for the end on the Blade. I think they call it the Mind Buster or something they're calling it now. So I guess I got two new finishers. Like I said, we already know their regular one, the Shatter Machine, but I'm trying not to call it the Shatter Machine. I think it's the goodness something, or the good, or the greed. I'm gonna have to look that one back up, okay? But I know that one was called like the Mind Buster or something after that. But pretty much after Tony Schiavone ended up going in the ring and interviewing FTR, they pretty much talked about how AEW is the pinnacle of professional wrestling, and that they're one of the best tag teams until the Young Bucks came out. He says, well, Matt Jackson went on to talk about great match and everything, and listen, you bailed us out of jam last week, but, this is the last time our paths have crossed, all right? They introduced themselves that they are the best tag team in the world, the Young Bucks, and they've carried tag team wrestling for the past decade and a half now. I wouldn't talk about recently, but they said they've carried for the past decade and a half. And pretty much they said they're the best tag team in AEW, and it's finally nice to meet them. They were going to shake their hands, but the Butcher and the Baker end up attacking them from behind. Next thing you know, they got Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian coming in behind too for whatever odd reason. Kenny Omega and Hangman came for the save, which was kind of funny. Hangman casually walked in the ring with his drink as, Kenny's doing the save, but Hangman just kind of walked in there all cool, like, I'm just going to take my time and hold my drink right now. So he did take his time to get in the ring. Next thing you know, the FTR, the Bucks, and Omega and Page pretty much had a stare down after that. So obviously we already know the FTR versus Young Bucks match is going to be happening sometime into the future. This is a slow burn, of course. I think this will probably burn all the way into All Out, which is probably a while from now on pay-per-view, but I feel like that's what they're going to be building it to. But the Revival, they had a good debut. Their in-ring match, actually good to see them in the ring again. We haven't seen them in a while, so having their first match back here, they did good. And they got new theme music, which I swear it sounds like their old theme music when it was in WWE, so almost very similar when I kind of think about it. But yeah, I like both either way. The new one's pretty good. I may have to take some time getting used to hearing it, but it's a pretty good song after the first time hearing it tonight. Next, they went to QT Marshall, Dustin Rhodes, or what was it called, the Natural Nightmares, and Brandy and Allie, which I don't know if there's been given any type of explanation to this. I don't understand what's going on. I have no idea why Allie is with QT Marshall right now, and I guess she's now part of the group for whatever reason. And Brandy pretty much says, why are you wearing a Nightmare Family jacket, since she's the only one been trying to get rid of her most of the time. Marshall pretty much said, kept, I guess, getting distracted by her, as Dustin pretty much said, listen, you get your head in the game for this opportunity, which there's a lot of things going odd about this. Number one, I don't watch AEW Dark, so I have literally no clue why Allie is in this, or I don't even think there was ever an explanation of why Allie is even back to normal, since that whole bunny thing was not working. Then again, that whole butcher, baker, candlestick maker, or whatever group you want to call it, wasn't really working to begin with, because they're basically job guys, which basically they still are job guys right now. They just lost FTR, but Allie, I guess they put her by herself now, and she's with QT Marshall. It's never really been an explanation why she is with them or whatnot. I feel like somebody's just going to come out and say, well, you got to watch AEW Dark to know that. I'm not going to watch AEW Dark because I just don't watch it, and Jiro's not really good, okay? And I have zero clue why, and it's not even explained why she's with QT. She's just there, I guess. I have no idea what's going on with this. And I saw a lot of people bringing up tonight that, well, she is married to the Blade, or what was his name in Impact? Trying to remember. It's been a while. Braxton Sutter. Yeah, that's his name. Whatnot. Braxton Sutter. But I have zero clue why she is in this team, and it's not even explained why. And then what's even odder is that, okay, they get a tag title shot next week. Oh, okay, who have they beaten? And what is their ranking? We want to go off this whole ranking system every week and whatnot, which, I feel like they lost control of that nowadays, or they only use that ranking thing when it works sometimes, because it feels like sometimes people just be in these random title shots or whatever match for no reason. I'm sitting there wondering, like, I thought you had a ranking system to determine this, and I'm sitting there looking at, like, okay, so if he's I said this about Brody Lee before, it's like, okay, he's number 4 in the rankings. How he only been in the company for like a month and he gets a title shot? Doesn't make any sense, okay? I don't get that. And I'm sitting there looking at this whole Dustin QT thing, that who have they beaten? Who? I don't watch Dark, so I don't know who they've beaten, and I've barely even seen them team up together half the time. I know they're a team, but I barely ever seen them team up, so I don't even know why they're getting a title shot. And, someone brought this up to me tonight. My friend Steven, he kind of went on to say that, okay, the best friends, they're the ones getting a title shot at Fyter Fest. They won at Number One Contenders Day. Then, like a week after, Jimmy Havoc and what's his name there, Sabian gets a title shot then, which I thought that was kind of out of the blue. And now these guys get a title shot, and we don't even know why they have a title shot. They just get a title shot next week. I have zero clue what's going on with that right now, so that doesn't make a lot of sense. Next week went into, which I almost thought this was another Fatal 4-Way match this week with the women. I feel like the same ones every week, but Hikaru Shida and Chris Statlander versus Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford. Only 2 out of 4 of these people can really work, but this was a good tag match. This isn't one of the worst ones I've seen in recent past with the AEW women, because most of the time a lot of these women's matches in AEW suck and are very bad, and I feel like I'm seeing the same ones every week now, which I thought this was the immediate Fatal 4-Way, because I've seen almost a Fatal 4-Way almost every other week on this show. One thing I was kind of surprised, though, was Penelope Ford getting the pinfall over the champion, because I guess Sabian threw the belt to Penelope Ford. It was Nyla Rose, one of them, which I felt like she was almost waiting for this spot to happen, and Ford ended up hitting Shida with the belt, and then pretty much hitting her suplex for the win. I kind of find it odd that Hikaru Shida's losing already, and she hasn't been the champion that long. It's like 1 week you're having a competitive match with basically a jobber, which I believe they signed now. I know she was on Dark. And now she's getting pinned by Penelope Ford from out of nowhere. I know it's a tag team match, and I know she had out because she got hit by the title, but I just have to kind of wonder, like, should the champion be taking L's like this right now? But I think they're only doing this because they need an opponent for Fyter Fest for Hikaru Shida, so I think that may be the case between her versus Penelope Ford, but kind of odd Kind of odd they're doing that for some reason. I don't know what's going on with that, but I don't know, kind of strange when I think about it though. The champion's already taking L's like this. I know they had another promo for Britt Baker talking about Big Swole. Got to keep her relevant on TV one way or another, I guess. I just know she has Rebel with her most of the time. I think a lot of people paid more attention to Rebel than they have to Baker in a lot of this, but Baker will be back sooner or later. Got to keep her on TV to make sure she's relevant on the show, even though she has an injury. Next, though, Darby Allin, who was somewhere on location, since he's not medically cleared yet. It's not going to stop him from skateboarding, and, he say he doesn't care. So, what do we have show up? Tony Hawk, folks. I haven't seen him in a while. I knew he had a picture with Darby Allin recently, but I didn't know he had a segment planned up there with him for AEW. I guess Tony Hawk's, was what's going to stop him from skateboarding. So, it's Tony freaking Hawk, folks. Darby Allin basically was on top of a ladder, which say he didn't need a doctor's note to skate wherever he wanted to. He basically got on the top of the ladder and kept crashing and burning as he kept trying to. I don't know if he was trying to, vert down or whatnot and land, but it's like he's just jumping off the ladder with the skateboard and crashing and burning several times. But hey, it was cool to see Tony Hawk again. I haven't seen him since probably a Tony Hawk video game. I know they're making I wouldn't say they're making a new one, but they are kind of remastering the first two Tony Hawk games, which I believe is supposed to come out in a few months. I will pick those up though. Tony Hawk games have always been fun to me in the past. Okay, I've always liked Tony Hawk games. I would like for a new one because the last one that came out, I heard that was next gen, was horrible. Okay, like the best ones I've really played was Pro Skater, the Pro Skater series, especially Pro Skater 3, the Tony Hawk Underground series, American Wasteland was raw. Proving Ground was a good game, too. Yeah, I've always liked the Tony Hawk games in the past. Those games were fire, okay? I love those games. I wish a new one would come out. I just don't know if skateboarding is popular as it used to be, though. But Tony Hawk games are definitely the shit. I recommend playing that. That kind of made me happy to see Hawk on the show. But other than Tony Hawk being there, we then went next to... yeah, 6-man tag. Yeah, we got 6-man tag then. The Inner Circle versus the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. Jericho. I almost thought I messed that one up right there. Yeah. Other than that pause right there because of whatever issues with this computer at the time. But getting back to what I was saying, yeah, 6-man tag, the Inner Circle, the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, of course, Jericho mostly on commentary through this. Not a bad tag match, I should say. I was actually surprised Cassidy got the roll-up win over, I think it was Ortiz in the ring. He got the pinfall over, but the Inner Circle ended up beating up the Best Friends right after. Jericho got in with his baseball bat then and start beating up everyone. He hit Orange Cassidy in the face with his bat, which it started bleeding then. Next thing you know, they took a sack full of oranges, put them into a giant, almost like a giant sock or whatnot. But like I said, they took all the oranges, put them into one big bag, and then they start hitting Orange Cassidy with it, which I kind of swear that I swear he kind of held his hands up before he even hit him with the hit him with the oranges and whatnot. But whew, are you messing up right there? But yeah, hit him with the hit him with the oranges and everything, which he started bleeding all over the place. As Jericho got on the microphone, said that Blood Orange Cassidy has been juiced and that they basically beat the crap out of them. Obviously, this is going to be a match for Fyter Fest. Mostly, this is just a distraction for Chris Jericho until we get to a later date with this whole Mike Tyson feud, since they keep bringing that up. And I'm sure that'll be a match maybe at All Out, since they want that on pay-per-view. They got Jericho doing anything right now. So they just put him in a program with, with with Orange Cassidy, okay? This is obviously a distraction until further notice, because who else can they really put Chris Jericho against right now? Because it's not like Mike Tyson's here every week, so until they get the Mike Tyson thing going, we'll just put him against Orange Cassidy and them, and it'll probably be some, like I said, probably be some match at Fyter Fest or something like that. But yeah, Jericho and them getting some heat since they kind of been taking a lot of L's lately. Gotta get some heat back by beating up Orange Cassidy with a sack full of oranges. Honestly, that almost reminds me of an episode of American Dad when it has to do with what Stelio Cantos beating up somebody and see if he can get and told Steve can get the oranges up the stairs. Obviously, Orange Cassidy could not get the oranges up the stairs. So there you go. He could not get the oranges up the freaking stairs. Next, though, we went to Tony Schiavone as he was about to interview Badass Billy Gunn with his son. I think he had both his sons with him, Austin Gunn and I don't know the other one's name. But before Mr. Ass could even say anything, MJF came in pretty much talking about how, you know, Jungle Jabroni Jack Perry there wants to get a title shot, and he lost this match. He talked about everybody in the back giving him a bad look, and that it doesn't matter how you try to get better on the mic or over with y'all with the internet marks, everything, you cannot beat MJF. And he said that he's the great white shark around here, but Billy Gunn took the mic from him, say he is the new great white. MJF pretty much started talking about his kids then. Billy got pissed. Wardlow came into play in, which now this is going to be a match next week, because even I've said myself, why do they not get Billy Gunn in the ring more often? Because this guy looks like he could kill half the freaking roster if he wants to, because I don't know how good his kids are at wrestling, but at least now, after saying that early in the night, he will actually be wrestling next week against Wardlow. You know, it's kind of funny, I've seen a lot of people tonight wanting, pay WWE the money so they can get his Ass Man song back. Listen, I'm sure people will pop for that if they give him the Ass Man song back, okay? Because I know he can't come out there and say, we got 2 words for you, but I would laugh if they, and I'm sure it'd be a good pop if they bring that music back, but that's not gonna happen, okay? Because trust me, I know some people that do not like the Ass Man music. That's probably some niggas that never even got no ass before. Because, you know, somebody told me just one time the song actually helped them get ass, because basically if you like fat asses, that is the song for you. It makes you an ass man. You see where I'm going with the flow of this? So, yeah, it kind of makes sense when you think about that, okay? But, yeah, other than pretty much promoting that match for next week, who we get next out here? Drop my phone. But yeah, as I said though, next we got Sammy Guevara versus Colt Cabana. Which this was not a bad match, I should say. It was okay. I will say that. Which we know, I saw a lot of people saying this, that it was kind of funny. But I kind of figured Guevara was actually going to get the win. It's probably the first one Sammy Guevara's had in a while. He ended up winning with his reverse GTS. It's kind of funny that Colt Cabana loses to the GTS, if you get what I mean. That's what's kind of funny about it, because GTS, CM Punk, and maybe it's best they should not even bring his name up, because we already know that Punk and Cabana still have beef, I believe, or something still stems from the whole case and whatnot. But yeah, Sammy Guevara got the win. Next thing you know, the Dark Order show up. All the Dark Order this time. Evil Uno and Stu Grace in the back. I believe, like I said yesterday in my Impact review, that I believe the Canadian borders are open. If the North will make it back to Impact, then, the rest of the Dark Order can make it back to Florida then. That since they've opened a couple restrictions, I guess in some borders and whatnot, they are able to make it back into America. So now all the Dark Order is here. From, John Silver, I don't know the other guy's name, Uno, Grayson, and now Brody Lee, who pretty much walked up to Cabana, pretty much helping him to his feet. As the Dark Order left, Colt Cabana was pretty much confused what's going on, which he may join. Now, listen, I know the Dark Order is back at full capacity and everything, but is it really going to make the group even better? Because, come on, man, it's not like the Dark Order was ever going anywhere anyways. We already know how bad these guys are, and it's just not a good group, and they're trying to do anything and add more people and think it's going to be better, but I just think this group is still a bit of a lost cause. So the Dark Order is the Dark Order, but it doesn't really have me that interested, even though they got the full group back together now. But Sammy Guevara was still in the ring, pretty much talking about he was the winner, play his music. But Matt Hardy came out. It was actually regular Matt Hardy. Guevara pretty much told him to cut Hardy's music. Hardy pretty much said, I don't have an issue with you or anything. You remind me of a young version of myself. And like, don't matter what happens to you, you do not die. Basically, if you know that whole thing, you always get back up. Pretty much Hardy called him the future of AEW, which you could reach your full potential, but you got to get away from Chris Jericho, which, it's kind of funny. They have Matt Hardy's version 1 graphic show up then as he's talking. Guevara pretty much didn't want to hear from Hardy, but Hardy pretty much talked about, the Matt, talk about himself and whatnot until he turned to Broken Matt. Basically, we got 3 different versions of Matt Hardy talking right now, which he went to Broken Matt then. So he's going to eat Sammy Guevara, and he's going to delete him. Delete. So we got 3 Matt Hardys in 1. Some people think this will be a tag team, or it'll be a match between Matt Hardy and Guevara sooner or later. I don't know where this is going. Or Guevara will turn on the Inner Circle and could turn face. I know that was kind of said last week. Somebody told me that last week, but I wouldn't be so sure. I still think it's going to be a match between Matt Hardy and Guevara. Or maybe it could be a team. I don't know. Maybe how many times if Matt spikes his head into the ground with Twist of Fate. So, I don't know. But other than that, though, they went to, Joey Janela video, which I guess he was in a bar and talking about one of his best days are behind him. That he felt like he's lost a sense of direction the past 6 months or so. Next thing you know, they have Sonny Kiss come up in a car, pretty much telling him to get in the car. Pretty much says, where'd you get this? Is headed to be continued. Listen, I don't care. This is something I don't know. Listen, I don't need to see. You see me bury both of these guys several times, okay? Janela, Nutella, Coachella, watching a telenovela, and maybe get bro kicked like Sheamus like a fella, okay? I don't care about Janela, so you've seen me bury him several times, and so I just don't like both of these niggas for several reasons, okay? I have multiple reasons why I just don't even want to see. I don't even want to see them on my TV, okay? There's a reason why one of them was mostly on Dark. Janela had whatever hope he was on TV, and half the time people kept carrying him in all the matches. Most of his matches on there, he was being carried, okay? So, do I really even want to see these two as a team? No. Do I really care? Not really. It's 2 niggas I don't already like, okay? So what makes you think I want to see them as a team and tell me how it's going to get better with them as a team? Obviously, they put vignettes for them now, so I don't know, man. I got my reasons why I just don't like both these motherfuckers, okay? I don't. All right, and I'm not really interested in seeing, so I just kind of, when I sat there and saw that promo video, I was like, there's 2 niggas I already don't like and they on my TV and their team. What the fuck? Okay, I don't know. But next thing you know, they went to John Moxley, who's in the parking lot. Pretty much saying he's in a bad mood. He said he's hurt. He's got a lot of injuries and right now. He's got a lot of injuries right now, and pretty much went to talk about Taz, that, he's pretty much been talking and everything too much, and that he's going to beat Brian Cage at Fyter Fest. And he knows that Taz tried to get under his skin, and it has worked. And he told him that he's going to beat Cage at Fyter Fest and pretty much send his monster or whatever back down to the totem pole or down the card or whatnot. And he pretty much says that people thinking that, he can beat him is what drives and makes him the train even harder, even more violent. Very intense promo by John Moxley, which was great, actually. And pretty much Taz, great trash talker and everything, but Brian Cage has no chance at Fyter Fest. Taz pretty much showed up then, pretty much says, all I'm here is chirp, chirp, chirp. Talk, and everything. They pretty much started to argue then. Next thing you know, Brian Cage ended up sneaking up behind John Moxley, attacking him, moxing him broad for a second. He tried to hit Cage with a pipe, but Cage got out the way and smashed him into the car, knocked him to the windshield. Cage pretty much threw Moxley onto the hood of the car, and then he was going to powerbomb him to the ground, but Taz says, no, that's enough. But Cage let him go, but ended up slamming him still onto onto like the windshield, breaking the glass and everything, leaving John Moxley pretty much in pain right there. So this was good way to hype up a Fighter Fest between Mox and Cage. So that wasn't that bad. Great promo by Mox as usual. I like what my friend told me tonight that this dude Cage is too freaking swole to be running up behind you, sneaking up on you. You can see him a mile away, just how big this guy is, and he's just running real fast, sneaking up, attacking you. Then I'm like, this dude's way too freaking big and swole to be sneaking up on somebody. So I think that's kind of funny when you think about it. Next though, they had a video package, which I'm surprised this was even a match tonight. This actually felt random to me. Mark Quen versus Cody for the TNT Championship, which Cody was putting over Mark Quen and everything, but this is actually the first time I'm actually hearing about this match in general. Okay, this wasn't even said. I didn't even know it was an open challenge tonight. I know they hyped up for next week of the open challenge, but I'm saying, why was none of this even said? It's like I'm just seeing this video package now. I'm like, when was this a match? When was this even said? I'm saying, like, it's good to see Mark Quen getting a title shot and everything. Good for him, but I don't understand why this was happening. Why does he get a title shot? It just felt random. Very random. This wasn't a bad match, though. It was still good. Solid match. I liked it and everything. I like Mark Quen better out of the group anyways. This guy can freaking fly out there. I like that 450 he did onto the ramp and whatnot. And, Cody back in the ring and whatnot, and pretty much was about to jump on him again, but Cody ended up dodging the shooting star, looked like, and pretty much put him in the ankle lock and pretty much locked it in, even turn it, basically focused on Quen's leg after he was hurt a couple weeks ago, which is kind of funny. He's even getting a title shot after he lost a tag match. Even though he didn't take the pinfall, he still lost a tag match a couple weeks ago, and now he gets a title shot right here. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But pretty much right after Cody helped Mark Quen up, shook his hand and everything, but next thing you know, Arn Anderson pretty much came in, shook hands, and then after that, Jake Hager came in and attacked Cody and Quen. After that, he pretty much threw Cody around the ring for a second until Matt Hardy and Isaiah Cassidy came out, pretty much had some chairs in their hand, and they started hitting Hager with it, threw some chairs at his head, knocking him out the ring. The rest of the inner circle came out to help Hager as everybody got in the ring and brawled with each other. Then Cody was back up, having a chair, pretty much fighting him off, as, Cody, Matt Hardy, and Private Party pretty much stood tall right after there. Cody pretty much looked at Jake Hager, says, "You want a title shot at Fyter Fest? You got it," which is kind of odd when you think about it, because if it was supposed to be an open challenge next week, why couldn't you just challenge Hager next week? Why does he get to Fyter Fest? I don't understand that. It's like this guy just basically got a title shot from out of nowhere because he attacked them, but it gets, I don't want to say pay-per-view because it's not a pay-per-view this time, but he gets a title shot just because. Why the pay-per-view? Just do it next week. It says, hey, you want a shot for my title next week? You got it. Why's it gotta be till Fyter Fest? You're doing an open challenge next week, right? You're defending the title every week, right? Face him there. This has to wait till pay-per-view for some reason. No, not pay-per-view, but free pay-per-view, or however you calling this thing right now, this free Fyter Fest show. So they're figuring one way how to do this, so I guess I'll go with that. But yeah, he gets a title shot at Fyter Fest, though. I just don't know why. If he got one next week, just wait till next week. Doesn't make a lot of sense. But this is not a bad episode of AEW. It was okay. Not the best one, but it was a good show. I will say that. Most of it went along nicely. It was solid, mostly up and down the board. We got the debut, in-ring debut of FTR. Build up the whole Young Buck feud. Cody versus Quen was good, even though was kind of random and last minute, if you ask me. But not a bad match, solid. I guess Jericho has something else to do. We got Jericho on commentary. That is a positive. And I guess he's got something else to do in fighting Orange Cassidy right now until the Mike Tyson basically is a distraction. Good to see Tony Hawk on this show. What else? The Cage and Mox thing was actually really good too. That was actually a good little brawl segment they had right there. That wasn't bad with Cage destroying him. I guess we got the Dark Order back. I don't know how much that really means to you, but I guess that's something. So it wasn't a bad show, I will say. It was okay. It was pretty good. That's all I can really say that much about it. I guess just some build until Fyter Fest. But at the same time, oh, there we go. Mic wasn't working for a second there. But at the same time, no. Yeah, title shot. Whatever. They get a tag title shot next week. I have zero clue why. Alright. But, other than that, though, this thing doesn't seem to be moving here. But yeah, other than that, though, yeah, not a bad episode, though. Comment, subscribe. Find me on Twitter at HoodNight90. I'm out here. See you guys later. We will be back for an NXT review. And check out my New Japan video I put up early in the day about them coming back next week. I'm out. See you guys later. Peace.